was dust, and I was inside huge boulders, just bombarding, but I could feel with my eyes.
These strange images and sensations are part of the experience of the drug called LSD.
Oh, wow!
Turn on, tune in, and drop out.
Ecstasy is the street name
Research
given to
into
the drugs we
psychedelics
form
is
as
emerging at the
enzymes.
same time the U.S. is battling a rapidly rising mental health crisis. Why?
MDMA and the psychedelics
Contains 100 gamma of LSD.
Both the CIA and the Soviet intelligence services were experimenting to try to find truth serums. So the CIA would apply LSD to people without them knowing about it.
It's an important drug in terms of research into the treatment of mental and emotional disorders.
And they start off on this kind of very
Scientific path,
trajectory.
yeah.
They get co-opted by the culture. They get seen as a profound threat, and they get shut down and shut out of science. Is that the inevitable path?
Yeah.
Is that path inevitable? So will it be repeated?
Yeah.
Is that path inevitable? So will it be repeated? So will it be repeated? So will it be repeated?
America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse.
Demonize it like the beginning of the opioid crisis. We were talking about
Big
pill
Drugs Inc. and the drug pushers that are out there trying to normalize drug use across this country are creating what I think is one of the greatest threats to public safety of this generation.
This has been a public service message of the American Medical Association and your local station.
Why do you think they call it dope?
Hi, my name is Joelle, and this is going to be an investigative documentary about psychedelic therapy as it is represented in the news media. We're in the midst of a psychedelic renaissance, meaning there's been an explosion of research, attention, and now policy reform surrounding psychedelic therapy.
We're going to begin this hour with the first in a three-part series we're calling Psychedelic Renaissance.
The reason this is being called the Psychedelic Renaissance.
But now this science is coming out, it's exploding.
There have been a few catalysts for this movement very recently, including Michael Pollan's book, How to Change Your Mind, and its subsequent Netflix series.
I was very surprised at what I found. Mescaline, psilocybin, MDMA, LSD.
Now, I'm not an expert in psychedelic therapy, or policy, or anything like that, but I have been studying media for the past 5 years at university, and I've learned just how influential media consumption is in creating and shaping our values and interests. Thich Nhat Hanh was a famous Buddhist monk who said that mass media is the food for our eyes, ears, and minds. This is especially relevant to those of us who live in the digital world of social media. Psychedelic drugs like LSD, peyote, and magic mushrooms have been covered in national news media since the 1950s. But now that there's this scientific renaissance, they're being covered a little bit differently.
What psychedelics can do for mental health. And I see that there's been a shift in the way people are willing to see it and actually hear it.
This positive resurgence of psychedelics comes after a long history of prohibitive and punitive drug laws that disproportionately targeted people of color. And to really understand this new resurgence, I've decided to talk to experts in the area. I'll be speaking to someone directly involved in psychedelic policy on the heels of a DEA court hearing, as well as a psychedelic community leader and a ketamine clinic therapist. I'll be talking to a journalist that covers psychedelic drug policy, a filmmaker in the space, and the leader of a BIPOC-led psychedelics coalition, as well as a shamanic practitioner located right outside of Philadelphia. I'll be asking them what their thoughts are on the contentious subject of drugs in the media, so if you're interested, come take a trip with me.